trying so hard not to listen to it, and it was in the movie, and so I was like,
Oh.
and I was like, oh, I'm like, ooh, and I was like, okay.
Hi everyone, we are
LaChiMoLaLa.
and this is our review of the new Monsta X movie, The Dreaming, which is confusing because that's their new album. So this isn't an album review. This is a movie review.
I know, a movie review. Isn't that crazy? Oh my
How
goodness.
exciting. We're so excited for the concert coming up, but we have this to like keep us going, plus the new album, plus the EP. It's like never ending. It's raining Monsta X and I love it.
I know. Yeah, it's so as many of you guys are aware, or if this is your first time at our channel, welcome. We do this format because we're in two different cities and we're pretty far away from each other. So that being said, I was able to watch it on Thursday, and then Beth was able to watch it on Saturday, and I could not contain myself on Thursday after I was done. I texted and I was like, oh my gosh, like this movie is going to make you, I didn't spoil anything, but I said it's gonna make you want to like really, really listen to The Dreaming. And not that you, Beth, not that you weren't going to listen to it anyways. We know that we both would listen to it, and if not on repeat. And it made me like really excited for the concert that we're going to go watch in February. So it was, it just energized me and really like I'm so enthusiastic about it. It's all, I was already like excited about it already, but it made me like this level, like
off the charts,
yeah.
off the charts.
Yeah, so all right, so let's dive into the documentary slash movie. So how did you feel about it?
I really liked it. I wasn't sure what to expect, honestly. I didn't know if there's going to be like a lot of behind the scenes, if it was going to be more biographical. It was very like almost more like slice of life, like a moment in time. But I mean, overall, of course, I loved it because they gave us stages. They talked, they had like behind the scenes moments.
Mm-hmm.
I was there by myself as well, but there were other Monbebes there, and I have to tell you, I wasn't the only I am bias in the room because half the time when he said anything, there was like a little twitter through the crowd, like a little flutter of, oh, he's so cute. So I felt right at home.
Yes. And it doesn't help when you see like Gambler or Love Killer and you gasp a little bit when he's not wearing a undershirt under his vest, or his jacket.
I mean, we were sad that Shonu wasn't there, but I Am's abs were, so that was always a plus.
Oh man, I mean, can we talk about those performances? Like, okay, let's talk about Gambler and Love Killer, like their outfits. Oh my gosh, so good. And like their performances out of this world, like I loved it. It was so good.
And I loved how in the movie they talked about how they really had to reimagine things because they were down a member. So it's not the same thing you've seen before. It's slightly modified. They all needed to bring extra energy to make it still feel the same. And I thought they killed it. It was so good.
Yeah, it was really, really awesome. And that kind of sucked for them, because like, I mean, just it's pretty much learning like kind of like a new choreography because like you have to reposition yourselves from 6 down to like 5.
And they had to relearn the singing too, because I mean, obviously they were picking up extra parts and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that must have been like really tough for them.
And I bet it was hard for Shona too. I mean, I would be really sad knowing I didn't get to participate in this.
Yeah. For me, like I don't know what I okay, so I knew that they were going to do some behind the scenes and performances, but I didn't think that they would give us a mini concert essentially like that. I did not expect that. I expected some performances like, all right, cool, like just to see them perform and stuff like that. But I didn't expect all those songs in there. And the behind the scenes, I don't know why I thought like early behind the scenes, like the like behind the scenes, like with Won Ho behind the scenes, but when they said that, like, oh, this movie is gonna show like another side of us, like in terms of like behind the scenes, they meant like actual, like they showed some clips of like their older concerts, like from the beginning, because that's where they started off with. But then they showed how the whole the behind the scene process was actually the whole process of like, their choreography, like how it's done, and like concert view, like how it's viewed and stuff like that, like meeting up with those people and then having their meetings. That's a different kind of behind the scene that I was like, why did I not think about that? Like I totally just thought about like historical behind the scenes. And so like after the movie, I mean, I still enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but I was like, I guess I had that expectation of just seeing like the whole like history of it, but that wasn't the case. But even then, like just seeing them go through like the whole entire process, of like recording and the spats, during the choreography and stuff like that, that was really interesting. So,
and I know we're new to the fandom, so we don't know as much, but I did like how they were saying how much they do on the production end, that their fans don't know about. Like their fans only get to see the final project, not everything that goes into it and how much they contribute.
yeah.
I also really liked at all the meetings they had, and the producer of their concert even said this. They have so many opinions. They have so many ideas. Like they're very involved, which I thought was really cool. It wasn't just like, okay, here's the script, here's what you'll do, here's where you'll stand, here's what you'll sing. Like they seem to have a real voice, which makes it even more special because then it's really showcasing who they are, not who someone wants them to be.
Yeah, and so it's really interesting, and I wonder if it's because they're seasoned artists now, because like people have this assumption that the depends what kind of label you're on, and they have this assumption that the label runs everything, and to a certain extent, I mean, they kind of do because they have the money and they have to back you on it, but I think the more that you prove yourself as an artist, like you have more of a voice, and so I'm not sure how like Starship functions, but I mean it's really cool, that they allow their artists to have that voice, and it's really nice to see actually that confirmation, through this documentary, that like I finally get to produce like a song, called Gambler, or I finally, and just being involved in like everything, so
I mean, they were giving ideas and notes for how the set should look, which you don't imagine the artist to be involved in. So I thought that was really cool.
yeah.
And then we got to see it. Like Hungwon even said, he's like, shouldn't there be like sky behind us? Shouldn't there be clouds? And then later there was. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, I know that seems silly and minor, but I personally think that as much creative control as they can have, the more I'm getting a pure version of what they want to interpret, it's less filtered through other things, and maybe that's just because both of us have worked on movie studios before and stuff. So we know there's like a lot of middlemen between the initial creative idea and the final product.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to see them super involved in it. First of all, can we talk about the recording session? Ju Honey is so shady.
Yeah.
This movie made me love him even more. He is so ridiculous. The way he was teasing Kihan, flat, sharp, do it again, pitchy.
Yeah. And you know what? Again, like they have that brother relationship where they could just like do it like that, And when it came to his turn, oh my gosh, like the they were all like all the guys were like ready, and he
They were
totally
gonna
turned
roast him.
yeah, they were going to roast him until Jew Honey turned the table on them, like he's like, I'm not singing right now, Oh my gosh. And the poor girl, like, she's like, what? Like she was trying to figure things out initially, and then she later figured it out, obviously,
Right.
but
And one of them was like, "You're embarrassing her. You're
yeah.
ruining her job." And he was like, "Okay, okay, okay."
They go, see you for real now,
But only because she's embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved seeing that interaction. We haven't gotten to watch X-Ray yet, so like anytime we get to see them with that camaraderie and that back and forth, it's really like precious and fun for me.
Yeah.
So that slides right into the choreography, which I'm sure you were all about because you're a choreo girl. That's your jam.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that scene was like hilarious. Like, I know that they were showing like the behind the scenes and stuff like that, like how it's like the frustration between Minhyuk and Hyungwon, it's
You can
like,
tell they've known each other forever.
yeah.
Like probably longer than anyone else in the band.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, no, I should be here, like, no, you should be here, like the back and forth and I was like, oh my goodness,
And Jew Honey getting so frustrated with them, like, we're wasting time. Just
yeah,
pick one.
yeah. Yeah, what was he the one or the choreographers that said like they spend most of the time like arguing instead of like actual practice,
I think Jew Honey said that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was
He
like,
was like, we could get everything done in half the time.
and the thing is, this is like I remember like the choreographers like said this, like they were saying, like they argue so much about it, but then like at the end of the day, they just say sorry to each other and everything's fine,
And we got to see that. They were just like, apologize. And they were like, okay, I'm sorry. And they were like, okay, me too. And they were like, it's fine, right? Right? I did like how they had key people who'd been with Monsta X for a long time also had like those confessional moments, like you said, the two choreographers, and they put under there, been with them 10 plus years.
Yeah.
The stylist or the makeup artist been with them 7 plus years.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool because you got to know what their team thinks of them, and I always think it's really positive if your team members have that longevity. I'm sure those choreographers have had offers from other bands.
Yeah.
But they like Monsta X.
Yeah.
They were like their biggest fanboys. They were so adorable.
Yeah,
they were like,
so
I just want to see them at the Grammys. I just don't understand. Like, why not?
Yeah. I mean, I'm in agreement with him,
Me too.
Like, why not? Why not? Like their music is so good, and it's I don't get it. Like I've been telling my coworkers now, coworkers, friends, everyone like around me that talks to me, anyone,
lady in line at the grocery store.
Yeah, I mean anyone, Instagram, I don't know, Twitter. Yeah, it's just like I don't understand, like they're so underrated and they shouldn't be. They're so good. They're so hardworking. You can see that through their music, choreography, like they work so hard. So it makes me sad to think that they're not on BTS's level,
Yeah,
like they're so
because
good.
they should be. They definitely should be. I was really surprised by like how much of a fandom they actually have in the US. I mean, it seems like they've toured here, they've done Jingle Balls, they were on Ellen and Jimmy Kimmel. And it just seems like they have a much bigger fan base considering I don't know anyone else who listens to them.
Yeah.
Which is a tragedy. A tragedy.
I know. Oh man. But
I also love them talking about the pandemic and what it meant to them to not be able to perform.
Yeah. Like I feel like this whole entire movie, I feel like they or I'm pretty sure I am mentioned this that they created this movie so that they could be closer to Monbebe again because like they miss the fandom so much, you know, and so
He even said that they were
몬베베
a
없으면
shell
저희는
without
빈
them,
껍데기일 뿐.
yeah,
which I thought was like so. I was like, oh my god,
I know. I'm like
don't be
that
an empty shell.
I know.
We love you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's and I feel like this is like a love letter to like to the fans, you know, like most definitely like that you could tell like how much that they miss all of Monbebes, you know, like they really really want to go back on stage and perform again, you know. I mean, because it's been so long, it's been like more than 2 years that they get to interact with people and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, and to miss that like immediacy, like I mean, that's how I feel like that's another way artists are creative too. They get the feedback from their fans and they know which direction to go next. So they're kind of like just, doing whatever, hoping that somebody likes it. And that must be really difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Oh.
Mm.
And it's just like, oh,
I love them so much. They're so
yeah,
cute.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
should we talk about fashion?
Ugh.
I know we already talked about the first outfits. I think we're done there. Everyone knows we like them.
Do we have to move on from those outfits because they were so amazing? I loved it.
We don't have to. They're like red straight jackets, but I was into it.
Oh, I was totally into it. Oh my goodness. Like that color on them. Oh, yeah. Okay, I guess we'll move on.
If you can.
Yeah. So next memorable outfit to me was the cream silk outfits.
Yes, and they were
Yeah.
like almost champagne-y. Yeah, like all like off-white creams. And they all just look like liquid silk, just like dripping down. I mean, whatever. Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, going on with I don't know with the champagne theme.
So cute.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, they look good in everything. Let's be real.
yeah. I mean, that's the only thing that we need to say about the fashion. They look great in
They
everything.
look great in everything. I
Yeah.
love they had those great like white outfits, the solid whites that had like kind of like I want to say bedazzled, but that makes it sound like they weren't cute because they were cute. But yeah, they were like almost like rhinestoned up, but in like a fashionable, cool way. They were like all patterned and interesting.
Yeah.
And it's weird because they felt very different from the champagne outfits, but they were still in like the same color scheme.
Yeah. And the other outfits that I remember were the 90-ish like windbreaker type of clothing that they wore. And that I mean that was pretty fun. It brought me back, you know, like they're
Yeah.
very retro. So yeah, they danced in stand up with that outfit and you problem in that outfit as well, you know.
I was dying over those like puffy, like old Nike jackets and pastels. And like, I swear their jeans were like almost acid washed. They were kind of ridiculous outfits, but they were having so much fun that I was like, ugh, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like it worked, you know. I'm like, I was totally okay with it. I was like, you do you, booze, you know, like, all right, let's go for it.
I really loved the suits at the end. They all had like a different color and a different type of fabric, but they all still looked like a cohesive group.
Mm-hmm.
I actually also really loved Jew Honey's shirt that he wore during like the one-on-one interviews. It was like some awesome print that almost looked like a painting of a sky that was melting. It was so cool. I was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was just like, whoa, what's that?
Or maybe because you're now obsessed with him.
Maybe. Maybe I got a new record out of this movie.
I will say, if we're talking about records, Hyungwon has become my record.
I love him.
So he is just very hilarious because he had trouble interviewing. Like, it's just, I just loved how they just kept those scenes in the movie. Like he was so it he couldn't just interview. He would just say funny stuff like, "Yeah, I bulked up, for this movie, for Monbebes and stuff like that,
And
And
he was like so embarrassed.
yeah, and I'm like, what? And then he's like, how was I able to do interviews in the past, And he would
Right?
just laugh, you
2
know?
years without doing them, you lose your skills.
Yeah, yeah. And so I thought it was the cutest thing. His humor is just really hilarious. I just love it.
And I
Yeah.
could not keep my eyes off him during all the dancing. I mean, he is just so, I mean, it's hard. First of all, he's enormous. He's a giant.
Hmm.
So you always know which one is him, but the way he has command of his body, like his long limbs, it's just crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
he moves like liquid and it is really hot.
Yeah. Well, I had my eyes somewhere else. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah, of course I do. So my eyes were all like on Keehan like the whole time. But then well, to be fair, I did watch all of them, clearly. But I mean, it's my
And
bias.
once we can watch again, we'll be able to focus a little better. I did say this to you when I was texting you after the movie. I love I.Am's voice when he sings. I love him when he
Oh,
raps, but when he sings, it literally sounds like melting caramel. It's just like this gorgeous, beautiful, like, I feel like it just wraps me up in like a sugary hug.
yeah.
It's so
Oh,
good. I love it so much. Ugh. Ugh.
oh man. Yeah, like his vocals is just
So good.
so freaking good.
Hyungwon too. I felt like I got to see a lot more of, like, I don't recognize his voice as much on the recordings yet. I always know if it's I Am, Honey, or Kihan. I'm like, okay, those ones I can pick them out. So I'm still kind of getting to learn Hyungwon's, and his voice is also really gorgeous. And it was nice to be able to see which parts he sings. Now I'll have a better like understanding on my ear for him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to say too, uh, I'm kind of switching gears a little bit too. I like seeing Minyuk's what am I say happy side? He's always happy. Minyuk's humor too. Like he was the first one in the car when they started doing like little selfies of themselves, like recording themselves. He was the first one to say like, oh, I'm in a movie. I made it. Am I going to Hollywood? And I thought that was so hilarious. I'm like, you're so cute.
Right. He's obviously a little jokester prankster.
Yeah, yeah. And so that was so cute. And then it seemed like the guys were like, well, and that seems the guys were like pretty excited that, there's this movie about them. And Jew Honey is like, he was so excited about this movie too, because he would say things like, oh man, am I heading to Hollywood, or stuff like that, or maybe I'm confusing this with interviews post movie, because like I've been watching interviews of like the press junkets, of the Dreaming movie, and yeah, he's been saying that like, oh, I made it, like, are we going to go to Hollywood? It's
I
so
know in the
cute.
movie for sure he was like, tell my mom I'm in a movie now. And then he was like, hey mom, I'm in a movie. Just so extra, so
Yeah,
adorable.
super extra, and we are here for it for sure.
100. 100. Extra is what I live for.
Yeah, but yeah, like I enjoy the whole entire movie, like honestly, like it did not feel like an hour and a half at
No,
all.
no,
Yeah,
not at all. And I really loved like getting to see the candid, quiet sides of them. But to your point, I was surprised how much concert there was. So it was
yeah.
like really cool because you got to see like their duality.
Yeah, and honestly, I did not expect them to sing 4 songs from their new album,
No.
which again, like, is so smart because it made me, really, really excited for the Dreaming album that
Yeah,
got
because you saw
released
the
on the
day
10th.
before it came out, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I try not to listen to new content until like we do our reaction video together. And
But it's
so
hard.
yeah, this goes for like you problem. Like I was trying really hard like not to listen to anything until like cuz our schedules has been like pretty packed lately and it's been pretty busy. So like we couldn't coordinate it on a day where it just came out and we could do it. And so we had a little delay on there, but it's like I was trying so hard not to listen to it and it was in the movie. And so I was like
Oh.
and I was like, oh, I'm like, ooh. And I was like, okay, so and for me, like I knew that I I'm really into this band because I knew almost every single song. The only song that I didn't recognize and I knew exactly which album it came from, like that, because I knew I didn't listen to that album yet. That's the one album I didn't listen to yet. And Stand Up was on there, and I'm like, damn it, I knew Dramarama, I knew all of their other like catalog, but Stand Up was the only one. And I was like, ugh, I knew it. And I went home, I looked it up, and I was like, yeah, of course, the Fantasia, like of course,
The
that
one album.
one, but yeah, I knew all the tracks, even the Dreaming tracks, because and which is funny because you're probably thinking, how does she know about the Dreaming tracks? Well, I follow them on Instagram, and so I listened to their snippets that they had that they posted daily up until the 10th. And so when I heard like,
There it
yeah,
is. There.
One Day, You Problem, Whispers in the Dark, and The Dreaming, those were the 4 tracks from the new album. I really wanted to listen to The Dreaming after like the whole I just couldn't wait, like
And I was lucky enough that it was already out. So I did immediately. I listened to it
yeah.
on the way there and on the way back. And
Yeah,
I do have to
yeah.
say, since you brought it up, Secret or Whispers in the Dark. When they did that one, the set was really cool. And it was almost like the Brady Bunch. It was like 3 and 3, and they each had their own like personalized square. And there was an empty one with a door in it. And I felt like that was for Shonu. Like he could walk in at any moment. And I just
Yeah.
thought that was like really, really cool. Like
Yeah.
he's still a part of the band. They kept mentioning him. They kept saying how much they missed him and they needed him around. Like he felt present even though he wasn't in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And it kind of makes me think like how far in advance they thought about making this movie, because he left this year, I think, right? Well,
Yeah,
it's
I think they
really
said July in the movie.
yeah. So yeah, so it kind of sucks that we didn't get to see like an interview from him, but military rules, like he can't stop his duties and then interview,
I don't think there's
like,
like a day pass for that.
yeah, like, yeah, no, I don't think it works that way.
But I felt like they did their best to make him still included. And he was the first person in the credits.
That's true. Yeah. So, yeah, they did the best that they could, I feel like, too.
But
And
even if you're not Monbebe, I feel like this would be a good gateway.
I think
Like,
so.
I'm going to try and get other people to watch it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. Like I mean, like I like how they opened the movie, like they gave like a brief history of like why they got into the business, and I like seeing their baby pictures and stuff like that too. It's like so cute. And the one-on-one interviews, like they were all very interesting, like what they had to say. I thought that they had a really great format of how they did the movie, because it's not like just straight talking and then a concert. It was discussion behind the scenes, or an interview, then like a concert piece or a performance piece, and then they talk again, and then like another performance. Yeah, so like that was like a really good format that I thought it worked for them.
And I thought you got to see a little bit of everybody's flavor without it being super in depth. Like, I got to know them a little more, but to your point, it's not like it's like a deep dive that you would only appreciate if you already know them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I completely agree with you on that, you know. So yeah, so this definitely is a really great movie for
Yeah.
someone. I feel like even for us, like, you know, we're still getting to know them and stuff like that. And I felt like I left the movie theater feeling like, okay, I got to know them a little bit more, you
Yeah.
know? So but
But
yeah.
I didn't get to know a lot of their abs more. And we all know Keon's mom thinks that he should show them. So show them. No, honestly, I loved this movie. I would recommend it to mom babies, non-mom babies. I'm sure I'm going to see it at least a couple more times, you know, once it's finally out, which I'm assuming is next steps. But yeah, it was just so much fun. And it was so nice to feel how much they missed us. And I hope they know how much we miss them. So I'm really, really excited. I do think we should point out, are you wearing merch?
I am. I am wearing a crop top hoodie right now.
Your
And
new fave.
I gotta represent now because, you know, that's when you know that I really fall in love with the band is when I buy their merch, you know, and
Right.
merch is really expensive, by the way. So
Yeah.
it's not $10.
Like
Yeah.
you bought merch, you went to the movie, you bought the album, we're going to the concert. I mean, I think we're in.
Yeah, we're definitely in. And I didn't even buy the album once. I bought it twice. So wow. Yeah,
So, in conclusion,
yeah.
definitely see this movie.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Go see it.
Great. Go see it. Go see it. Yeah. All right. Any last thoughts, Beth?
Just that I am super cute. That's all.
Okay. Okay, I agree with you. Yeah. All
That's
right.
mostly what I've been thinking.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an honest response. So, and that's all. We're here for honest responses.
Hmm.
So, once it comes out, like hopefully streaming, you know, like watch it. Yeah, watch it or buy the Blu-ray or DVD or, you know, like it's really worth watching for sure. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And we are La
LaChiMoLaLa.
La. And we will see you guys next time.
Annyeong.
안녕.